day, beautiful people out there. I hope you're having a nice time. I'd like to appreciate God for the gift of life. It's a great privilege. We shouldn't take that for granted. Thank God we're alive today. So I would like to continue our previous tutorial from where we stopped on our AutoCAD. So after mentioning AutoCAD, let's go to our plan, practice, or whichever name you use to rename save your document. So click. You can also go to start drawing and go to file to open your recent document. So once it pop up, once it come up, then we'll start. Today we'll be running our floor plan and our elevation. We'll be projecting our elevation. So to go to that, before this video tutorial, I've worked on the previous drawing. I've worked on the dimension. I've arched my exit and my entrance porch. I label my window. So when working on drawing, make sure your drawing is more detailed. That it's so simple that it will be easy to interpret on site, or wherever you want to use the drawing. So I've put some gadgets in the kitchen, some furnitures. You can do that by going to the design center, press Control 2 on your keyboard. This is our design center to show something like this. So you want to use your kitchen utensil, kitchen tools. Double click on your kitchen, double click on block, pick whichever tools you want to use. Then you double click on it and click OK. Then you click on your workspace. You can increase and reduce the scale of the block before putting it to the appropriate place. So this is our toilet. So the next thing to do is to draw our roof plan, and to go about that, we copy our floor plan. You can type CO, or you go to copy. I like the object and go to copy. Click on the workspace and we're good to go. So we don't need, while working on the roof plan, we only need our external walls or your external lines. So we delete every other information we have on our drawing and leave only the external lines. That's the only thing we need right now. So we delete every other information. So we left with our external lines. So AutoCAD is quite simple, but sometimes it can be frustrating if you don't practice. Constant practice will make you become a professional. So this also applies to all phases of life. The more you practice, the more professional you become at any field. So I can leave this in a square. The plan is a square. I can leave this 4 corner. If you're working with a plan that is of different shape, so I'll show you a drawing later. So you make sure you delete all the other information and you trace out your external line. Leave your external lines alone. So now I'll make use of chamfer to join these lines together. So before that, I want to change my walls. These are the external walls. I want to change it to a broken line because we are seeing your roof plan from the top, your plan view of the roof from the top using a drone or climbing on your roof. You won't see your walls. So it's a broken line. The broken line is telling us it is not feasible. It's underneath the roof. We just want to put it there so that it will be realistic. So you click on chamfer, you right click, click on distance, enter. So you make use of your chamfer. Enter. Make use of your chamfer. Okay, sorry. I can join these two together. You can join them together, but I just want to make use of chamfer. Instead of joining together, I can make use of my chamfer to just join my horizontal to my vertical. That's what chamfer is used for, or to create a kind of bevel. You can see that in the previous tutorials. So you click on the two line you want to chamfer, and since the angle is on 0, you have to chamfer this area too. The angle is on 0, so our chamfer will just be a straight line without any angle. So we can join all this together. Just type, after highlighting the two lines you want to join, go to modify and go to join. Or to make it easier, you can click on the two line and just type JO or JY as a shortcut. Enter. Right there. Instead of doing that again, just click your space bar to repeat the previous command. You see? You just use it to repeat your previous command. So here we are. This is our wall. This is our external walls. So our plan, when we want to draw our roof plan, we notice some of the olden designs of our roof. There's a projection called if. If is a projection from your external wall, projection of your roof from your external wall. Like it's a kind of a 600 offset from your wall. The roof will project outside the wall with 600 mm or 0.6 meters. So, but in some recent buildings that we have these days, you see what we call concrete fascia. So that's the order of the day right now. So, but let's make use of this old design. So we'll go to offset. This is offset on modify. Then you type 0 on your status command bar. Sorry, you have to offset 600, not 6,000, 600 on all the 4 edges. If you are working on a different plan, make sure you offset every external line that is left out on your drawing. So it's very simple. We're progressing, and you see it's interesting. The next thing to do is to make use of chamfer to join these lines together to have a perfect square. So here we go. So that's good. So mind you, we have to change this external line to a kind of continuous line, which is telling us that our line is, the roof is feasible. It's not like this broken line that is not feasible. So I can change it to a kind of wall. Let me take it to wall layer. Okay, I think we are good to go. So the next thing to do right now is to bisect the angle of this roof, making use of our construction line. So, and it bisects our ridge. Ridge is the topmost layer of the roof, the topmost part of the roof, or where the two sides of the roof meet each other. That's our ridge. So let's go to draw construction line. So right click, it will bisect it by angle 45. That's the norm. Bisect by angle 45. Let's go to angle. Since we are making use of angle, you click on this, then click on this edge too. You notice the single line is bisecting the two angles. There are some instances it's because it's a perfect square. We are also on a rectangle. That's why I put two lines there. We are also on a perfect angle, it will not be so. So then let's go to construction line again, or you just press your space bar, you right click, angle 45 will not work. So instead of calculating the angle that will suit this area perfectly, since we are working on 45, I will just use minus 45, which is the opposite. I will click on the two edges. The next is to chamfer. I'll click on my chamfer. Click on the two edges. Click on chamfer again. Click on the two edges. Then we are there. So I'll trim off this excess. I'll trim off this one that is not useful. So trim it off. So here we go. The next thing to do is to make my roof more appealing. So there's what we call something like Dutch. I'll put a kind of Dutch in this area. So to do that, I'll just draw a line like this. I'll make it as 600. 600 is not a perfect, it's not a fixed value. I just want to make use of that. So I'll set 600. I'm just using this line, this center for precision, so that myself will be perfect. That's why I'm using this. So I'll just extend. We are going to extend, or you type ES. So to trim this off, just click on this. Click on your sheet to change the extent to trim. So I can trim off this also. But mind you, I work on the roof plan, wherever the two ridge meet each other, the continuation will be a straight line. While where a ridge and a gutter meet each other, gutter is a place where that collects the water downwards. Assuming there is a kind of recess, I will show us in another drawing. Assuming there is a kind of recess in this drawing, we have a gutter. Where gutter and a ridge meet, the continuation will be kind of 45. Let me show you that briefly. If I chamfer this, you see this is a ridge, the two ridge met here, so the continuation will be a straight line. So that's what I'm talking about in these cases. So we have to offset. This is our ridge. The roofing sheet covering our ridge is a kind of what we call roofing ridge cap. So the ridge cap is 300 mm in width. So to show that, we have to offset 150 on both sides of the ridge to create the awareness that there is a ridge cap here. To illustrate that on our roof plan. So can we see it's quite simple? This somehow, the case of this will be somehow different. So can we see we are progressing? It's quite simple. So the next thing to do here is to kind of chamfer the necessary places and trim off the necessary places. So chamfer this. Sorry. This. Chamfer this. Chamfer this. Chamfer this also. So I have to trim. Kind of trim. You have to trim the excess lines. You have to zoom your drawing to make sure you are doing the right thing. So progressing gradually. So you will see how the dot will reflect on the elevation. You can leave your drawing, you can leave it as it was before by chamfer this so that they meet at this place. So you can leave it. If you leave it that way, you will not be having this center ridge of the thing. So I think I don't need this. I think I don't need this also. So I can extend this one. So I think we are good to go. We're almost there. So we'll trim off this excess line, trim them off, and you extend this vertical line. So I think we can save. Like I said, save as you are working because of power failure, or if there is any, maybe there is some cases of system shut down and due to one reason or the other. So this center line on the ridge cap, there is a projection pointed. The ridge cap will be somehow pointed at this area. So to relate that on your drawing, you have to, let me change it to a bold line of 0.3 thickness. By highlighting the line, I'm going to work or going to use line weight here. Go to 0.3. So the next thing to do on our roof is to draw a kind of fork that shows the direction of the flow of water on each side of the roof. So to do that, we go to end that to draw palette. We go to polygon, and I'm using a triangle. This is not just enter 3 sides. This is not a constant, or maybe a kind of go to inscribe or circumscribe. It's not a fixed something, it's just a concept. You can try to do your own another way, but this is just a concept. So you can trim, it's just a concept. You can use only triangle, but I prefer doing this way. Prefer using this. So remove. Instead of drawing another one, I will just copy all this and rotate where it is necessary. And I hope you grab that. You rotate, you mirror. I think it's okay like this. I will just mirror this to the other side instead of drawing another one. I'll just mirror. Beautiful. I will just copy this to the upper part, and boom, we're almost there. I don't want the video to be too lengthy, so I have to create another so that it will not be somehow boring or too tiresome. So I'll be able to practice as a go. I'll try to create another video on the elevation. Our elevation is quite simple. So I can just mirror this to the other side. So we want to mirror on the vertical, use the vertical as the reference point. So we want to build the source. No. Here we go. Next is to arch our roof. So arch is to put a pattern that shows us that this is actually a roof. There are different patterns. We want to use, we have different type of roof. So that's how the pattern goes. This one is like we want to use this normal long span aluminum sheet. So we want to use a kind of all this Gerard roof. This is one pattern. This is one pattern. Let me show you this how it works. This is one. It's not feasible. We have to increase the scale. Let's say 500. So it's too much. It's way too big. So let's make use of 100. Let's say 50. You see, this is a pattern, but I don't want to make use of this. I prefer using this, except in some rare cases. So for this, you have to increase the scale. Let's say 1200. Let's say 1000. Okay, I think 1000 is okay. You add this. You add this also. I don't want to add the two at a go because if you delete this, you will delete this also. So I want to add them separately. You see, it's a kind of slanting at angle 45. You have to come here on the angle and change the angle to 45. No, sorry, minus 45 rather. Instead of calculating the angle, just use minus 45. I think it's okay. So you can just mirror this to the other side instead of go to home. Click go to home instead of arching them together. So you can add them together anyway, but there are some cases there's a mistake here. You have to delete this one. That means you deleted everything. So go to arch again for this. No, this one is pointing towards the other direction. So now we can. Oh, sorry, I'm clicking the wrong space. Okay, we can use angle 45. Why was angle 45 is adding 45 to the drawing and changing it to 90. So you see, it's on the arch is on 90 degrees. So we can escape and rotate or mirror this rather. Go to home. Mirror this. Just come here and mirror. So sorry. Escape to cancel. I click on the wrong space. So click on this. You see that line is telling me that I'm at the midpoint of that workspace. You want to delete the object, source object? No. So for precision, this is a snap cursor. You can click on this arrow, this drop down arrow. You see? So if I uncheck this midpoint, if I get to the midpoint, it will not indicate that I'm on the midpoint. So for precision, make sure you click on you picking this thing so that it will be feasible. We need some other options there. You can do that. You need the tangent, you need parallel and the likes. So yeah, we're almost there. But I prefer using a red color for my arch so that it will look more appealing. So just come here and go to red. Boom, we are there. Can you see it's looking more better now? So my four also, I have to arch them so that it will look also visible on the. So there are different kind of roof pattern. It depends on the plan. Your plan will determine the shape of your roof. I hope to get that. So next is to put our dimensions. We're almost there. We're almost done. Put our dimensions. I'll show us another type of roof based on the plan. Depends on what you are working on. Like I said, draw out your dimensions. Your dimension will just add 600 on both sides to your floor plan total dimension. We are having 9.6 plus 1.2, and which is, I think is okay, which is 10.8 meter or 10,600 mm. Just copy this plan label and just place it here and change it to roof plan. I think we are there. Roof plan. So we are good to go. Our roof plan is ready. But before I go, I'd like to show us another roof plan so that we know there are different kind of roof plans. It just depends on what you are working on, how your floor plan looks like. So while I'm doing that, I would like you to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'd like to subscribe. You subscribe, like, you drop your comments, and you share. You also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. I'll say thank you, gracias, merci, asante, yabunga, ngiabunga. That's Zulu for Zulu people. I will say Kasham Shimda for Korea. Can you see this roof? You see, somehow looking complex. So that's based on one type of roof plan, floor plan rather, we're working with. So this brings us to the end of this video tutorial. Let's make sure we save our drawing. The next video, I'll make sure I will work on our projection and like. Thank you, merci, gracias, asante, ngiabunga. Thank you, bye bye.